We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. So today we have to start talking about purifications of the view, Diṭṭhivisuddhi. So when we talk about Diṭṭhivisuddhi, there will be many different groups, many different types of purifications of the view. So now here we have to start with discerning mentality and materialities. The 2 ways to start discerning mentalities and materialities. So we have 2 different types of discernment. Nama Bragaha, discerning mentality. Rupa Bragaha, discerning materialities. According to type of practice, we may have different approach. So here we also have 2 types of vehicles. Samatha Yanika, Samatha vehicle for those who attain jhana. So here, when we practice jhana or when we attain jhana, we have more options. Because we have already attained many jhanas, that's why we can also discern jhana dhammas. Also, we can also discern the materialities. We can start with anything. But 2, Vipassana Yanika, Vipassana vehicle for those who do not attain jhana. So for this kind of practitioners, they don't have any jhana attainment. They don't have many options. They have only one way to approach Vipassana. That is starting from Rupa Bragaha, discerning materialities. So these 2 have relationship. Nama Bragaha, Rupa Bragaha, discerning mentality and discerning materialities. Also, we also have 2 types of vehicles, Samatha Yanika, Vipassana Yanika. So here we have a relationship in the table. Samatha Yanika can start with Nama Bragaha, discerning mentalities. Also, Samatha Yanika can practice Rupa Bragaha, discerning materialities. So this that more options we get. There's more options for some Samatha practitioners. But although we have many different methods when we are practicing Samatha, but when we are going to practice Vipassana, there are only 2 things, Nama and Rupa. So for Samatha practitioners, they can start with Nama. That means they have attained jhana. They can start discerning jhana dharma, such as jhana factors or other mentalities. After that, they can come back to Rupa discernment. Or they can also start with Rupa discernment, such as 4 elements. After that, they can go back to Nama and Nama Rupa together. For our Vipassana vehicle, sometimes we also say pure Vipassana vehicle. Only one way, this is Rupa Bragaha, discerning materialities. So why? They have no choice. Actually, since they don't have any jhana, they cannot discern jhana dhamma. They cannot start with mentalities. But they can start with materialities, discerning 4 elements. After that, discern all types of materialities all over the body. Then they can come back to Nama discernment. So this is where we can start. That we can say the starting point of Vipassana for 2 different types of vehicle. Frequently, people also ask, what's the difference between Samatha Yanika and Vipassana Yanika? Right? Here I should elaborate a little bit more. Samatha Yanika have more options. Vipassana Yanika doesn't have that much options. Although we say Nama Bragaha very simply, there are many different types of Nama. For example, jhana nama. Okay, although we say jhana nama very simply, there are many different types of jhana. For example, anapana jhana. As you have already know, by practice anapana, we can attain different types of jhana up to 4 jhana. Not only that, by practicing kasina, we can also attain 8 attainments. We can also discern all types of jhanas. So that is why when we are practicing, when we can attain jhana, we have more options. We can choose any of jhana as the foundations. We can discern the nama dhamma. We can also proceed discerning rupa. Alternatively, nama rupa. After that, we can discern nama rupa together. So for our vipassana vehicle, only one way, discern rupa. Starting from 4-element meditations, then continuous practicing all types of rupas. Since they don't have any jhana, they can just discern ordinary as a concentration or any other essential sphere consciousnesses and mental process. Okay, these are the first parts we have to introduce. Then again, we also have to introduce a few more things about it. Samatha, Yanika, and Nama Brikaha. The next one, right? Those who attain jhana can start discerning jhana mentalities and their characteristics, function, manifestation, rhythmic cause, except the base of neither perception nor non-perception. So here we have already mentioned characteristics, function, manifestation, rhythmic cause of all types of mentalities. Mostly when we are discerning normal way, we just approach only the characteristics. For example, in the case of contact, there's a contact between the object and the mind and the base. In this case, we can also say phassa, right? Similarly, feeling means the knowing the taste of the object. This is only the characteristics. Mostly we approach characteristics, but here in this case, we have to discern characteristics, function, manifestation, rhythmic cause of all types of mentalities in the mental process. So he also mentioned accepting the base of neither perception nor non-perception. Why is exception? This is too subtle. Even in the English, in a statement, neither perception nor non-perception. That means they have perception, but very separate perception. Very difficult to know or recognize there's a perception. That's what we call neither perception nor non-perception. Not only that, even contact also. Neither contact nor non-contact, we can also say like that. That's why in every single mental factors and the consciousness are really very profound, very subtle. We cannot recognize easily. That is why it's not easy to discern characteristics, function, manifestation, rhythmic cause. So we have to skip that one. For all other attainments, we have to discern characteristics, function, manifestation, rhythmic cause of all the mentalities. Then here we also have 3 entries to discerning mentalities. Now you finished the previous one? There are 3 ways to start discerning mentality, or 3 entries to discern mentality. So we can find the same statement in many different texts. Okay, now here, Citta, consciousness. So although we have many different types of nama, for example, when we are discerning jhana dhamma, we start discerning, right, 5 jhana feathers, 3 jhana feathers, 2 jhana feathers, and so forth. But when we are going to start discerning mentality, we have 3 entries. The first one is consciousness. Consciousness can just know the object, phassa, context. I have already mentioned something about context recently, right? objects, the base, and the mind. Then they will arise by accident, knowing the same. Accident arising, all these things can be considered as contact, phassa. Without context, we cannot know it. Similarly, vedana, feeling. So in every single mind moment, there's a feeling, there's a contact, there's also consciousness. So what about vitakka and other things? You may ask this kind of question, right? Sometimes vitakka cannot associate with some types of consciousness. For example, such as eye consciousness. That is why this consciousness, contact, feeling will associate with any kind of consciousness. It will arise in any single mind moment. That's why we can start with one of these three. So we call three entries to nama discernment. So although we say citta, consciousness, it alone cannot arise. It will arise together with associated mental factors. Although we say contact, phassa, phassa alone cannot arise. It will arise together with associated mental factors and consciousness. Although we say feeling, feeling alone cannot arise. It will arise together with other mental factors, associated mental factors, and consciousness. So we can say three entries to nama discernment. So we have to move the next one. Everybody can begin with one of these three entries, continue discerning all mentalities. So this is just explanations. We can start one of these three, but we can also continue all other mentalities. So that means we must not stop discerning only two or three. We must know all types of mentalities that arise together with consciousness, feeling, and contact. Then there are some statements. For example, Venerable Sariputta's case, when he was discerning Anubhava Upasana, he mentioned I think 18 types of mentalities. That's why some scholars say even Venerable Sariputta can discern only 18. We cannot discern all. Actually, if we study thoroughly, for example, when we talk about passaddhi, for example, right? It will arise many other things. Without piti, passaddhi cannot arise. Without sukha, passaddhi cannot arise, for example, right? There are many relationships. It just mentioned essential points of the mental factors. That's why Venerable Sariputta also can discern all types of mentalities. Okay, now we have to move to the next one. Samatha Yanika, Rupa Brigha. So those who attain jhana can begin with discerning either mentalities or materialities. Whoever started discerning materialities can begin with discerning four elements. So we have already mentioned Samatha Yanika, who attain jhana can practice either one, right? Some nama or rupa. But here we just talk about rupa as a basis, as a foundation. So whenever we talk about rupas, we also have to talk about four elements. In reality, when we talk about four element meditation, we have already explained many things about four elements, actually. Whenever the Buddha is going to talk about vipassana, then whenever the Buddha is going to talk about discerning materialities, the Buddha explained one of these two discernments. One, sankhepa manasikara, discerning in brief. So manasikara means paying attention, right? Paying attention to four elements in brief, we can say like that. Vittara manasikara, discerning in detail. So here in this case, when we talk about discerning in detail, so you can also imagine, we have explained many things about detail in the past, especially in, sorry, the fallen meditation in Samatha chapter. But what about brief methods is easier for you to start. If whoever starts descending mentalities must begin one of these two methods. Okay, now. Okay, just introductions. Okay, later I have to elaborate what is it brief method, what is it detailed method. Now we also have another topic about Vipassana Yanika, Rupa Brigha. In the case of Vipassana Yanika, Rupa Brigha also, next one, Vipassana Yanika, Rupa Brigha. Those who cannot attain jhana begin with descending four elements in brief or in detail. So only two options, right? So anyway, for Samatha Yanika, Vipassana Yanika, if we start with Rupa Brigha, it will be the same. Four elements in brief or in detail. So after descending, then both vehicles, for Samatha practitioner, Vipassana practitioners, we descend mentalities and materialities. Okay, we have to move to the next one. Next one. Okay, both vehicles must continues descending mentalities and materialities. So whether we start with Rupa or Nama, finally we must descend both Nama Rupa. So now here I just introduce Samatha and Vipassana both practitioners can start with four elements in brief or in detail. Then okay, we have to move to the next one. Descending jhana dhamma in the jhana mind moment. So there arise 34 mentalities in the jhana mind moment. They arise together, arise together, taking the same objects, depending on the same base. So we have already mentioned, we have to descend all of them one by one. We also already mentioned three entries: consciousness, contact, and feeling. We can start with any of these three entries to descend all types of mentalities. Then the practitioner must discern the characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause of these materialities. So 34. We have to discern the characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause of 34 mentalities. It will take a very long time. Actually, we have already explained all types of materialities, or all types of characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause in every single mental fetters and consciousness. I also list out what 34 mentalities. Also, I make a table. In the table, also, I mentioned Citta. There's also star, right? This is the first entry, Citta, consciousness. Okay, here I will not explain all the characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause, right? I will just say only the characteristics. Citta, it just know or recognize the object. This is the characteristics of Citta. Phassa, contact. I already mentioned many times about phassa, right? Contact between objects, the mind, and the base. Vedana, feeling, it know the taste of objects. Sanya, perception, like a marking. Is it good and bad or something like that? This is also one of the mental factors. Then Chirana. Chirana is also, we can say, supporting or helping associated mental factors to know the object. Ekakata, one-pointedness. That means keep knowing one object continuously. Judinariya, vital force or life faculty of mentalities is sustained, consistent mentality, not to fade away, not to perish. So we have already mentioned all the mentalities were rise within a few moments. That means there's a rising stage, theta stage, and variation stage. After arising, before perishing, life faculty will sustain associated mental fetters and do work their duties properly. Rasikara attention. We have to pay attention to the object. Then we also have the next column mentioned Vitakka. As we have already known, in the case of jhana, we also say applying thoughts. We can also say inertial application. It directs the mind to the object, which are sustainments or sustained application. Sometimes we also translate as a sustained thoughts. Sometimes when we talk about sustained thoughts, people misunderstand. So here we should use sustained application. So it will sustain the object. You keep knowing what object. Atimokkha, decisions or making freedom of the mind, choosing the object. Viriya, efforts. Here in this case, we can say mental energy, forcing to know the object. Piti, rapture or joy. This is also enjoying. That means this is also like a rapture, or sometimes we also translate like a zeal. But anyway, piti means rapture or joy, or knowing the object. Chanda is a mere wish. So these are called mental fetters that arise together. So among these 6, Vitakka, Vichara, Piti are jhana fetters. In the first column, we already mentioned Ekaggata. This is also one of the mental fetters. So then when we are going to talk about sukha or dukkha, is also feeling, vedana. This is also one of the jhana fetters. Okay, we have to move the next column. The first column, the second row, right? Then saddha, confidence or faith. That means we have belief or confidence. Then sati, mindfulness. This one, everybody knows what's mindfulness, right? I don't need to explain that much. Mahiri, modesty. Ottappa, moral fear. Alobha, known greed. When we say known greed, it means that means we don't grasp anything, we release. Freedom, that means our mind is free, right? Without grasping anything. Adosa, no growth or no cruelty. It's also metta. Kataramajattata, ever evenness. That means any of mental factors must not be excessive. They must work properly. Also, they may have unity, functioning their duties. That one is right, encouraged by Kataramajattata, ever evenness. Then we have Kaya Pasati, Chitta Pasati. Tranquility of mental body and consciousness. As we have already explained tranquility many times. Without tranquility, we cannot feel peaceful. Similarly, Kaya Lahuta, Chitta Lahuta. That means lightness of mental body and also consciousness. Then another Kaya Moduta, Chitta Moduta, flexibility of body and mind, mental body and consciousness. Kaya Kamanyata and Chitta Kamanyata. So this one is a wideness of mental body and consciousness. Then we can also say Kaya Kamanyata is a readiness, ready to work duties like a very soft and fine gold. if the course is soft, we can do any ornaments easily. If hard, we cannot make ornament easily. That means the readiness or wiliness. Then kaya citta, kaya pagunyata, citta pagunyata. That is its proficiency of mental body and consciousness. Though here in the case of pagunya, this is also like a masteries. We have to try many times. We are used to deal with that kind of situations. That's why this is called paguna. Then kaya ujukata, kayuchukata, chitujukata. This is a rectitude of mental body and consciousness. This is also like a straightforward. No crookedness, sincerity or honesty, that kind of mind. Finally, panya. So these are the mental factors that arise together with the first jhana, mind moment. So when we are going to discern nama, when we discern one by one, their characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause. Then discern one by one. So for example, one in the beginning we will discern one. After that one, for example, here, okay, I just say just example. In the very beginning, we will discern citta, consciousness. Then we may combine together citta and phassa, two together. Then three together, citta, phassa, vedana, three together. Then four together, citta, phassa, vedana, sanya, and so forth. But we add one by one until we can discern all types of mentalities in the process, in the mind moments. So this is the jhana dhamma that arise together at the moment of first jhana, embodiment mind moments. Then we also, actually, I have already mentioned at the end of all this table, just reminding, at the end of table mention, the practitioners must discern. After that, the next one. Okay. After discerning all the information, okay. So then after discerning nama vavatthana, right? Defining mentalities. So after discerning all mentalities, the practitioner must define this is mentality. They have the characteristic of bending onto the object to avoid of person, being, soul, self, but there are only group of mentalities. Right? So if we have very clear discernment, we can also break the competitiveness of mentalities. So all the nama arise together because of this, we can also break down the competitiveness. Then after discerning all the things, we can also know these are only namas, no person, no beings, no soul, no self. Similarly, no human being, no divine beings. We can also know everything clearly. But anyway, in our modern society, they also say, okay, we just have an overall methods. All nama has the nature of knowing the object. That's why the mind is, right? Nama. All the body is a rupa. They say very easily. But in Visuddhimagga or many other teaching is mentioned, after understanding all types of mentalities in the process, in every single mind moment, then we can summarize all the namas have the same nature, the same characteristics of bending onto the object. Then they are called mentalities. So this is the first steps for Namavavatana, for those who practice jhana. So as jhana as a foundation, we can also continue use many other practices, right? The samatha vehicle can continue descending materiality starting from 4 elements. So that means without the base, this nama cannot arise. This jhana dhamma cannot arise. So there must be the base of all jhanas, all the mentalities. Then we have to continue descending mentalities, the materialities. So now here I just introduce 4 elements in brief. It's just the very basis of practice today. So we have 6 characteristics of earth elements: hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, and lightness. For about the discernment, we have already mentioned in the 4 element meditations in the Samatha chapter. We also mentioned 𝐸𝐴. But anyway, I have to reveal. Maybe I have to explain again, right? Because this is also important for practitioners to understand. Okay, hardness. How can we know hardness? If we touch our teeth or bite teeth each other, we also feel hardness of the teeth. We can understand hardness of the jaw and any other body parts. Power and parts, there's a hardness, natural hardness. Don't force to be hard so much. If we forcefully make it hard, then we may feel discomfort. That's why it should be natural. There's some natural hardness. For example, hardness of the bone, hardness of the flesh will be different. We have to know natural hardness all about the body. Similarly, roughness. If we rough our tongue with the teeth, rough against the teeth, right? If we rough our tongue against the teeth, we can also feel roughness. We can understand roughness of the teeth. We can also understand roughness all over the body. Finally, you may also feel like a hair rising all over the body. It must be natural roughness. Don't force to rough too much. Similarly, heaviness. If we press our nails a little bit, we can also feel heaviness. If we overview from our shoulder to the knee, right? Pressing a little bit, we can also feel heaviness from the shoulder. We can start descending heaviness on the shoulder and descend all over the body. Okay, softness is opposite of hardness. For example, if we press our inner lip with our tongue, we can also feel softness. Descend all over the body. Smoothness. If we rub our inner lip with our tongue, we can also feel smoothness. It can be, we can understand all over the body smoothness. Similarly, lightness. If we lift our finger slightly, again and again, we can also feel lightness on the finger. We can understand lightness all over the body. So these are how to discern of elements all over the body. So all the elements must be all over the body, not only one part. If we emphasize in one part too much, there will be excessive elements. Also, we cannot feel free and comfort. Okay, similarly, water elements, flowing and cohesion. The flowing means, okay, blood in the blood vessel are flowing. Saliva inside the mouth, flowing. We can start designing saliva inside the mouth, flowing. We can design flowing all over the body. Cohesion, if we grasp our hand a little bit tight, we can also feel cohesion. We can design all over the body. It must be natural cohesion. Don't force too much. If we force too much, we may feel tightness all over the body. We may feel discomfort also. Fire elements, heat and cold. If we cross our hands, mostly one of our hand is hot, one of our hand is cold. We can start designing heats where we can feel heat, obviously. It can all over the body. Similarly, cold. We can design coldness where we can design very obviously. Starting from this part, we can design all over the body. Then one element, supporting and then pushing. If we keep our body straight, our backbones support each other. We can design supporting our backbones. We can design all over the body. Slightly pushing. When we breathe in, we also feel pushing in our abdomen. Or we can also feel pushing around our nostril. We can design pushing all over the body naturally. So these are 4 elements in brief. We have to know all the elements one after another, design one by one. If we can design very skillfully, if we are skillful enough to design all the things, then we can also choose one of the elements from us. For example, hardness. One of the characteristics from the water elements, such as flowing. One characteristic from the fire element, heat. One characteristic from one element, supporting. We can design one of them. We can also choose alternative one. Anyway, the main thing is, if we say 4-element breath method, we have to know all these things all over the body. This is the basis of Vipassana. This is also part of Samatha. By practicing 4 elements, we can also attain asset concentration. We can also see Purification nimitta. It will take time. We already explained all the things in detail in 4-element practice. Okay, now we have to continue the next one. 4 elements in detail. So you have already known 32 body parts. We have explained many times. So now you also have to continue to design 32 body parts. But anyway, when we are going to practice 32 body parts, it will be different from asana meditation. Yeah, in this case, we have to design 4 elements in the head hair, for example. Not only in the head hair, we also have to design the clappers in the head hair. And after designing all the clappers, we must design body translucency, sex maturities, also life faculties, light non clappers. These are Kamaja clappers. Similarly, there are also mind broju maturities. Right? Sometimes we have hair rising when we have fear, right? Exciting or fear, we have hair rising. Because of mind broju maturity, we have hair rising. So there's also mind broju maturity in the hair. Temperature broju maturities in the hair. Nutriment broju maturity in the hair. We will design all three types of maturities in one body part. If we can design well, then we have to move to the next one. Body hair. It should be the same. Different types of maturities. We have to know everything in detail. Then neck hair, nails, fingernails or toenails, dental teeth, the jaw, skin. In every single body part, we have to design ultimate realities, starting from the 4 elements. Then we also have a man-sun fresh. Second group, right? Man-sun fresh. In the flesh also, we have all types of body translucency maturities. Also, we also have some maturities, live molecular bars, mind brojuice, temperature brojuice, nutriment brojuice, naru, sinews, hati, bones. Achi, mancham, bone marrow, wakam, kidneys. In all these body parts, it will be the same. We have to design all types of materialities, one by one. Group 3, Hadayam, heart, lekanam, liver, kilomakam, membranes, pihakam, spleen, nafasam, lungs. In this body part also, it will be the same. Then group 4, Anjam, intestine, Anjagunam, mesentery. These two will be similar to previous group 1, 2, 3. But here, Udariyam, goat. In this case, Udariyam also newly eaten food or undigested food. It can be considered as temperature-produced materialities. We have to do some temperature-produced materialities there. Karisam, physics. This is also this digested food, right? Already digested. Then this one also temperature-produced materialities. Matalungam, brain. It will be same to previous group. We may have body translucency, sex materialities, live non-clubbers, mind produced materialities, temperature produced materialities, nutrient produced materialities. So these are also called earth elements predominant body parts. Then we also have water elements predominant body parts. The first one is a big down, group 1, right? Big down, pine. Semam, from. Football parts. In the case of big down and semam, actually this will be similar to previous group, but only football parts is only temperature produced materialities. The loida blood will be same to before. It will be body translucency and all other materialities. Big group, right? The sedor sweat. So in the case of sweat, then we can also imagine sometimes sweat be because of temperature. We have sweat. Sometimes because of excitement, mind, right? We also have a lot of sweat. We become sweaty. The sweat can be both temperature produced or mind produced. Made of fats. So in the case of fats, it also can be body translucency and all many materialities, as we mentioned before. Asu, tear. Then tear also can be two different types. Sometimes because of minds, tear burst into tear, right? Sometimes because of temperature, because of weather also, tear come out, right? Although maybe there's other external disturbance, right? Tear come out. It can be two different types. What's our grease? Like grease can be body translucency and many other rupas. Kalo, saliva. Saliva also can be temperature produced and mind produced. Singanika, snoot. It also can be temperature produced and also mind produced. Also, we have like a lasika, right? So lasika is synovia. So in this case, it can be many other rupas. Mutam, urine. The urine is only temperature produced. So these are water elements predominant body parts. In different body parts, there are different types of materialities. We have to design all different types. This is detailed methods. Okay, now we also have a few more parts about temperature produced material, like 5 element predominant body parts. Right? The first one is Sandapana Dejo, heat or fever. So when we have fever, we may be more heaty, right? So heaty, that means you can imagine how heaty it will be. Actually, I'm not fully recovered yet. When you hear my sound, you can recognize I'm not quite well, right? That means because of fever. Okay, anyway, that means when we have fever, our body temperature is very high, right? This is also 5-element predominant body parts. So in this types of fever or any heat, there will be 5 elements predominant live clappers. Also 5 elements predominant mind materialities, 5 elements predominant temperature materialities, 5 elements predominant nutriment materialities. Daha Tejo bodily heat. It also the same types of material as before, as mentioned, Sadhamana Tejo, right? This is normal bodily heat. We have body temperature. This also live clappers, mind produce clappers, temperature produce clappers, nutriment produce clappers. Chirana Tejo, heat of aging. Because of this Chirana Tejo, we become older and older. We become mature and mature. This is called Chirana Tejo. This is also live clappers, mind produce materialities, temperature produce materialities, nutriment produce materialities. The last one is the Pachaka Tejo, digestive heat. This is only live clappers. It also can be all over the body. So these 4 are called 5 elements predominant body parts. Then we have to move the last group among the 4 elements. 1 element predominant body parts. Ottangama water, outgoing wind. So you can also imagine, right? Then we have many wind go up. So in this part of body also, we can say the same. It can be live clappers, 1 element predominant, when also mind produce clappers, 1 element predominant. Also temperature produce clappers, nutriment produce clappers. All types of clappers are 1 element predominant. Similarly, Adokama water, downgoing wind. The same types of clappers. Live clappers, mind produce clappers, temperature produce clappers, nutriment produce clappers. 𝐾𝐭𝐢𝐬𝐦 water, wind in abdomen. It will go here and there also, right? Inside the abdomen. It will be the same as before. Then 4, 𝐾𝐽𝐻 water, wind in intestines. It also same as before. Then 𝐴𝐾𝐵𝐵𝐵 nusarino water, wind going to the limbs. It go all over the body. So these 5, 1 to 5, they are live clappers, mind produce clappers, temperature produce, nutriment produce clappers. Only the last one, 6, asasapasasa, the in and out breaths. Everybody knows this one, right? Because we have to practice this one. The in and out breath is only mind produce clappers. So the practitioner must discern all these types of materialities in detail. Okay, if we summarize all the things, there are 20 types of earth element predominant body parts, 12 water elements predominant body parts, 4 5 elements predominant body parts, 6 1 elements predominant body parts. Altogether, 42 body parts. Then sometimes people also ask me, where can we find all these souls? Mostly we are used to be with 4 elements. We are used to be with 30 body parts. 30 body parts can be found in many different texts. What about 42 body parts? Where can we find the one? Sometimes people also misunderstand. This is only the common tree, right? Actually, we can find these 42 body parts in Maharaulo Vada Sutta. Buddha mentioned all the 42 body parts to Venerable Rahula, very much in detail. So those who are going to practice Vipassana vehicle, they must do 4 elements in brief or in detail. Here I just introduce briefly. Later I will elaborate a little bit more. Okay, now we have to continue talking about the doors and the materialities, sorry. It will take a little bit longer time to understand. So we have 6 doors. Then here I also write down all the 6 doors one by one. Then also mentions in iron door, we have iron translucency. Here I just write down the body what Jakku. Actually, it should be Jakku Pasada. Iron translucency. Actually, iron translucency will arise together with 4 elements: the color, the smell, the taste, and the essence, life faculties, finally, iron translucency. There are 10 materiality in iron translucency. That rise together with iron translucency, right? In the same class. Similarly, body translucency. In the body translucency also, it will arise together with 9 other types of materialities, altogether 10. 4 elements: color, smell, taste, utility essence, life faculty, altogether 9. After that, body translucency, altogether 10. They will arise in the same class. So here we have to introduce a little bit more about translucency and non-translucency. So we have 5 translucency: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body. They are called translucent clapas. In every translucent clapas, there are 10 materialities that rise together. So later, when I explain all other things, it will be easier for you, right, to digest. Okay, now, the third one in the first row, right, mention bhava. Bhava can be female sex materialities or male sex materialities. That kind of materiality can rise all over the body. In the case of bhava, sex materialities, it will arise together with 9 other materialities, as mentioned before, 4 elements: the color, smell, taste, also nutrient essence, life faculty, finally, some materialities, male or female, altogether 10 materialities that rise in the same class. Then this one is a non-translucency. Then we have the 4th one, jivita. So jivita, life faculties. If we say full versions of this Kalabas name, jivita navaka Kalabas. What about previous 3, right? Jakku dasaka, kaya dasaka, bhava dasaka. That means there are 10 materiality in 3 of them. Jakku also have 10 materialities, kaya dasaka also 10 materialities, bhava dasaka also 10 materialities. In the case of jivita, 9 materialities. That's why jivita navaka. 4 elements: the color, smell, taste, and life faculty. Sorry, nutritive essence and life faculties, altogether 9 in the same class. So these 4, Sakudasaka, Kadasaka, Pavatasaka, Jivita, Navaka, are called Kamacha class. They are produced by Kama. When Kama become Puvara, our eye become Puvara also, right? Then again, we have Tirtha Kalapas. Actually, there are many different types of Tirtha Kalapas. When we talk about introduction to maturity, we have already mentioned many different Tirtha Kalapas. But anyway, at least in the Tirtha Kalapas, there will be 8 maturities. 4 elements: color, smell, taste, nutritive essence. Then Uduja. Uduja means temperature produce. It will be same as Tirtha. There will be only 8 types of maturities. Haraja also only 8 types of maturities. So in the eyes, we may have all these types of maturities. We have to design all of them one by one in the eyes. Similarly, when we are going to discern in the ear, Soda, this means ear translucency, Kaya, body translucency, Bhava, maturity, Jivita, the same, right? As I have already explained in eye translucency, Aindo. Similarly, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. So we have to discern all these types of maturities in the ear. Again, nose translucency, the nose door. Kana, Dasaka, nose translucency. There will be 10 maturities in the same class. Kaya, Dasaka, Bhava Dasaka, Jira Navaka. These are Kamacharupas. After that, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. It will be same as before. We will design all types of maturities. Similarly, Tando, Jiva Dasaka, Turn translucency. We also have body translucency, Kadasaka Kalaba, also Bhava Dasaka, Jivita, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. We will design all these types of maturities in the Tando. In the body door, -1. Right? Previously, we have eyes, ears, nose, tongue. But here, body translucency. Also, such maturities, live non-kalabas, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. That is why when we talk about head hair also, body door, body. That's why I just list out all these things. Similarly, body hair. We have to know the same things. Kaya, Bhava, Jivita, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. So, among the earth elements predominant body parts, accepting undigested food and digested foods, 2 different things, right? For example, digested food is the Uduja Kalapas. This one is only Uduja, temperature produce maturities. Also, digested food also Uduja Rupas. Many of them are Kaya, Bhava, Jivita, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. So that is why when we are going to discern 32 body parts, we must know the body door, all these rupas. Okay, now when we are going to discern Haraya, hearts, then you can imagine there will be Haraya, Dasaka Kalapas, heart maturities. Also, there are 10 types of maturities. Kaya, body translucency, Bhava, sex maturities, Jivita, live non-kalapas, Tirtha, Uduja, Haraja. So in the heart, we must discern all the types of maturities. Then, so in every single door, we have many different types of materialities. Now we also have to know a little bit more about it. In the very beginning of Rupa chapter, we already mentioned the characteristics, the function, manifestation, cosmic cause of all the materialities. Today, I just talk about the characteristics. For example, eye translucency. It's Kamacha Rupas imaged by color. Rupa Vikadara Buddha Pasara. That means it will be imaged by color. Kaya, it will be imaged by tangible objects. But it just differentiates between man and woman. Jivita, the vital force, sustaining the coexistent materialities. So we have to discern every single rupas in every single kalapas. Okay, for example, in the case of high translucency, I have already mentioned there are 10 types of materialities, 4 elements. In the earth element also, there's a characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause. Similarly, water elements, fire elements, wind elements. In every single element, there's a characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause. Not only that, we also have to talk about the color, smell, taste, rigid essence. In every single materiality, there is a characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause. Then we also have life faculty. Life faculty also, we have characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause. So we have to discern every single materialities and their characteristics, function, manifestation, cosmic cause in every single kalapas. It will take very long time. Then, if we can discern all the things in detail, we can break down the components. Right? For example, although there's the particles, in small particles, there are many different types of materialities. They also rise in impression. They are working together. So if we know all these types of discernment, we can break down the components of materialities. If we can break down the components, what will be the result? What will be the benefits? As a Buddhist, we have already known anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha, right? Everybody knows this one. What about anatta? Non-self. The more we can discern in detail, the clearer the perceptions of anatta, non-self. Then we can also know momentary arising and perishing. We can also know anicca, momentary arising and perishing. So we can also know, we have also very clear perceptions of anicca, impermanence. We may also have very strong perceptions of dukkha, suffering. So these are the materiality according to the door. So if we review all 32 body parts, actually I should explain this door materiality in the very beginning, right? I should go to 32 body parts, the 42 body parts. It will be easier for you to understand. But anyway, it's also good enough to understand all these things. Okay, now we have final parts about Rupa Vatana. Rupa Vatana, right? After discerning materialities in 6 doors, 42 body parts in detail, that the practitioners must define this is materialities because they have the characteristics of being monastic. In Pali, we call rupana. Rupana means changing. So they have the nature of changing. That's why they are called rupa. As we have learned many different things about rupa now. Right? For example, because of heat, our body is change, material is change. Because of cold, change. Hungry, change. Thirsty, change. So change also. Overeating also, our body is changing. That is why we call rupana lakkhana. Rupana means the characteristic of being molested, or the characteristic, the nature of changing, ever changing, consistent changing. This is called rupa. So sometimes we may talk about nama, rupa, or this is the nama, this is rupa, right? We may have many different types of discernment. So when we are going to discern all these things, we must remember the formula we have learned today. First, we must discern all types of nama in detail. Then we have to overall. We have to discern overall. They have the nature of bending onto the object. That's why they are called nama. Namanam, nama. Namana lakkhana, nama. After discerning all types of materialities, they have the nature of rupana. Rupana rupam. Rupana lakkhana rupam, right? They have the characteristic of being molested or have a constant changing. Then we can discern nama rupa like this. So today we just introduced very beginning of nama rupas. Here I don't say very many things in detail. Later we have to introduce a little bit more in detail. Okay, anyway, when we talk about vehicles, samatha vehicles, or vipassana vehicles, samatha vehicles can start with either nama or rupa. Discerning nama or discerning rupa. For our vipassana practitioners, they have to start with rupa discernment. After that, they can also discern nama. Without discerning nama or rupas, we cannot systematically, we cannot break down the comparisons. Our perceptions of anicca dukkha anatta will not be that strong. If we can discern thoroughly in detail, then we can know nama rupa clearer. We can also break down the comparisons. Then we can also have very strong perceptions of anicca dukkha anatta. Okay, so now I will stop here, right? As long as we have to, as long as we are in the samsara, we have to practice Buddha's teaching to release from samsara. Then sometimes we have a knowledge, but we don't use our knowledge. So we think our knowledge is useless. In reality, if we can practice systematically, all our Dhamma knowledge will be useful. Not only that, sometimes we have practice, but no knowledge. Then we can practice it wrongly. We have to balance these two, knowledge and practice. We have to learn. As we learn, as we have known, we have to practice. When we are practicing, also we must know we are right or wrong. In this way, we can have our practice and our learning. Okay, so may you all be able to practice the Buddha's teaching, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering.
So question 1. Dear Sayadaw, please Sayadaw advise, is it true the benefit of meditation is more than the benefit of sila? Can say like that and have in Pali text or not?
We cannot say, right? Because without sila, so we cannot practice, we cannot meditate. Sila is also foundation, right? So that means, okay, when we compare the benefit of sila and benefit of meditation, it will be a little bit different because sila is a foundation, meditation is higher than that, right? The second training, okay?
The second question is, this is my new friend told his meditation experience, 7 days in the water, what kind of jhana he attained?
We don't have that kind of practice. Right? 7 days in the water. That means we don't have that kind of teaching in meditation, right? So in this case, we cannot say jhana. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, tears can be mind-produced, while urine is not mind-produced. Sometimes, for some people, when they are panicked, they may need to go to toilet many times.
Okay. Oh, maybe sure, right? Yeah. So this is the reasonable. Okay. But anyway, it just mentioned only as a temperature produce, right? Wasn't like we drink water, we eat food, it produce urine, right? So mind produce is normally possibility, but maybe less possibility. Okay. Not like a sweat, right? Another one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, during the practice of discerning Nama and Rupa, how does a meditator be sure that their discernment is clear and correct? Mind cannot be seen by the eyes. How does one know that their discernment is not imagination only?
Okay, sure. So that means we must understand the characteristics of Nama, for example, right? Every characteristic of Nama. So first see, okay, in the case of jhana, for example, first see the nimitta, after that enter the jhana, imagine for it. We might discern only the consciousness, the mind that know the object, right? But that combine together, context. So if we know the characteristic of all the nama, it will be easier. But for about imaginations, right? So in every single mind, also every single mental factors, they have objects. So objects and the mental factors, they have relationship. If we can discern two together, objects and the mental factors, it will be easier to understand. Otherwise, it will be only imaginary, right? Another thing.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Next question is, Dear Sayadaw, when discerning jhana mind, there are 6 pairs of kaya and citta. How do we understand this kaya and citta here?
Okay. Here, kaya means mental body. Mental body means all the mental factors, we can say like that, right? Citta means only consciousness. So there's only one citta, the many other Citta. That's why metaphorically, mental body means all the Citta. Citta is consciousness, right? Okay.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, by practicing 4 elements meditation, we can understand the elements in our body clearly. Can we cure some of our sickness caused by imbalance of elements? We heard of a meditation teacher who could remove her cancer tumor immediately using the 4-element method. Is there any teaching mentioned by the Buddha about this?
Actually, by balancing 4 elements, we cannot say we can cure sickness, right? Okay, one more thing here. Bhajanga Sutta. By developing Bhajanga, maybe possibility, right? The Bhajanga Sutta is for sickness. Okay, so that means those who have already, those who has already developed the Bhajanga or some of the Bhajanga, that they can overcome it. Okay.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, what is Jivita Kassapa? What is its function in the body?
Okay. Jivita is the life faculties. So that means in every single body part, for example, like a digestive heat, this is also Jivita Kalapas, but its phylum is predominant. It causes digestion. Okay. This is also life faculties. Then I have already mentioned fever also can be life faculties. Aging also life faculties, right? There's also in the five element predominant body parts mentioned already. This is clear, right? Another one is Dvividha can be the sustaining materialities for coexistent materialities. For example, in the iron translucency, in anti-K kalapas, there are 10 materialities. Among the 10, 5 faculty will sustain the functions or the characteristics of all other coexistent materialities. Okay? It can also sustain coexistent materialities. Also, it can also do like digestions or many other things, right? Okay.
Thank you, Sadhu.
Dear Sayadaw, if he can discern an octet kalapa, how to decide the cause of this octet kalapa? Pure octet kalapa, how to decide the cause?
Okay. Actually, when seeing the kalapas, we cannot see this is right? So it depends on, okay, for example, temperature produce very clear. It produces fire elements. But the kalapas, right? Nutriment produce also very clear. It's supported by nutrients. Produce by, well, from one kalapas to another kalapas, right? That's very clear. Only if we don't have all these types of other kalapas, we can say that these are kalapas. Okay, so for your information, for example, in every single kalapa, there's a fire element. The fire element will produce new generations. Right? This is Uduja kalapas. Similarly, in every single kalapa, there is nutriment. When nutriment is supported by digestive heat and nutriment of other kalapas, then it also can produce new generations. These two are very, very clear, right? If there's no such cases, it will be non-produce materialities. Okay?
Thank you, Sadhu.
Dear Sayadaw, may I ask Sayadaw, in the body, from the head to the feet, there are wind.
Mm-hmm.
There are wind circulating. It's very tense and it also affects the meditation. How to overcome this problem?
Okay, so that means sometimes if you use too much mind power, you can also feel tense. This is one of the reasons. Another thing is like following your sensation too much. It depends on your past practice also. If you have practiced many times following your sensation all over the body, but whenever you feel tension somewhere, your mind will go there, right? Then it can be disturbance. So if you have too much tension, don't think about when too much. Don't think about sensation too much. If you can know breathing without sensation, is much better. Okay, so there are some meditator, although they just pay attention to the breathing purely without paying attention to any sensation, they still have tension. So for them, mostly I recommend you stop practicing 40 minutes or anapanasati for a while. Just practice Puranasti or metas sometimes until they can ignore their body. They can forget their body, right? After that, they can redo other practice. Okay.
Thank you, Sadhu.
Vietnamese at all. So when I am practicing meditation, so I have a lot of wandering thought. So may Sadhu teach me how to overcome this wandering thought. Sadhu.
So that means if your mind becomes very busy, you may have many wandering thoughts. So in the very beginning of the sitting, you have to relax until your mind becomes very calm and quiet. Another thing is, if you are in a hurry, that means you want to improve within a few minutes. You may force too much. The more you put extra efforts, the more you have thoughts. This is also one of the problems. So if you can save your energy, and if you can practice normally and naturally, you can overcome this problem. Okay? Next one.
Dear Sayadaw, during the practice of Mananussati, the mind try to note death is sure. Life is uncertain. Marana me duang, jivitang me aduang. The practice in this way is this like cursing himself or self-hinting that I will die, I will die. What is the difference? Okay, and how to practice Maranathussati correctly and not cursing himself to die earlier.
Actually, cursing is different, right? Cursing is, for example, may you die soon, or may you die something like that. Eh? That kind of thing is called cursing, right? Okay, anyway, in this case, Marana may do when you tell me I do when this kind of thing is just recalling the nature of death. Right? For example, death can be everywhere. You may have seen many people on the streets, they pass away. In the car, they pass away. On the train, they pass away. On the plane, they pass away, right? Then it can be anywhere. That's why we can say Marana may do when. Jivita may I do when, right? This is it. Not actually hinting or not cursing. Cursing me. This is actually very serious, right? Cursing me. Right? For example, may you die soon or may you die quickly, something like that kind of thing can be called cursing. So, okay, if you have scared of this kind of things, you can also say very simple things, right? Marana, jet. Right? So then we also have many other types of recollection. Actually, recently I have found one story from Dhammavara, like the weaver's daughter. Also mentioned something about Maranathussati. It will be a little bit different from the Visuddhimagga. For example, when we go and study Mahasipana Sutta also, it mentioned a little bit different. For example, 𝐴𝐻𝐵𝐾𝐢𝐬 𝐸𝑚 Dhammo, 𝐸𝑚 Bhavi, 𝐸𝑚 Naṭṭhito. It mentioned like that. Right? So there are many ways to practice Maranathussati. If you're scared doing this one, okay, you can take another 10. It will be fine. No problem. Okay?
Thank you, Sayadaw. Dear Sayadaw, how do we feel happy and stop feeling sad if we can't get what we want in life?
Okay. Actually, as long as we are greedy, right, we cannot feel happy. First, we must remove greed. So that means if we have unnecessary greed, then it will be easier for us to survive, to feel happy, right? So that is why what I also mentioned. No, wanting what we get is also suffering, right? So now in your case, you have to suffer, not getting what you want. In this kind of case, I just would recommend, okay, just try to cut your greed little by little. Then, although you cannot get what you want, you may feel happy. Okay, next one.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
Vandami Sayadaw, when the Anusaya, the akusala karma, which is underlying, which is latent, appear occasionally, how to face with it, and how to make this anusaya akusala karma not to appear again.
Actually, in the case of anusaya, right, we cannot remove easily before attaining further full knowledge. Right? Only with past knowledge we can overcome this kind of problem. Another thing is, habits. When we can make new habits, what kind of anusaya? For example, you may have anger, right? Anusaya. If you have habit of anger, you just do metta more. If you have very strong metta, you can overcome. Similarly, you may have kamaraga anusaya. Do asura more, then you can overcome that kind of anusaya. Right? So similarly, you may also have like a vicikicca anusaya, a lot of doubt. Okay, learn more. If you can learn many of body steps, you can overcome a lot of doubt. Right? So it depends on what kind of anusaya you have. There can be different way to overcome it. So we cannot say exactly what to do, right? Okay, next
Thank
one.
you, sir. Dear Sadhu, how to stop being attached and let go of the people we have lost in life?
Yes, this is also how to stop being attached. Yeah, it's very, very difficult to stop attachments, right? Actually, after we lost somebody, right, then we can do only few things. That is sharing merit. Our duty was over, right? So we just do for their goods. That is just sharing merit. If you can share merit frequently, then so whenever you remember, okay, share merit. Finally, you may feel you are dutiful. Your duty is over, right? Then it will be easier for you to overcome this kind of things. So we cannot hate anybody, right? We should not hate anybody also. Okay, next another one. 𝐿𝐿 𝐴𝐴 sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sambati siriya idhamme nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo idhamme nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo 𝐿𝐴 nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo 𝐿𝐴 bunyam asawakaya vaham hotu 𝐿𝐴 bunyam nibbanasa pateyo hotu mama bunya bhagam sabba sadanam bhajami te sabbe me samam punya bhagam lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.